All right, everyone, welcome to Rhythm and Roads Las Vegas. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. On today's show, we have a very special guest. He is the front lead singer for the tribute band of Bon Jovi, and the band is called Slippery When Wet, Jason Morey. Welcome, sir, to Rhythm and
Hey,
Roads Las Vegas.
how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Wow, what an incredible 20 years plus that you've been doing singing with the band. It's a long time.
That's a lot of living on a prayers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, for reals. And it's so cool. It's so cool that even Bon Jovi himself authorized this tribute band. Like he's like approving on it. That's so cool.
Yeah. 2007, we got the letter from PK, who's not managing them anymore. But
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow, 2007. Wow. What a blessing to have that, right? Just that stamp of approval, just knowing the
Yeah.
the
And
legend himself.
we were only 4 years in at that point, and we were still kind of putting stuff together. So no, I'm fortunate to
Yeah.
have had his stamp of approval.
Oh, of course, man. Oh, I mean, if I received a letter like that, I'd be like, "Oh my God, like such a blessing, bro, just to have that." I mean,
It's
here I'm singing his songs, and here he's like, "Yeah, cool. I'll give you my blessing." So
it's framed in the office. So yeah, I mean, it means a
that's
lot.
yeah, that's cool, man. Well, let's get to know you, Jason. I mean, I mean, for your journey of where it all started, like what interests you back when, maybe when you were young, that you wanted to pursue being a singer, musician? I mean, what was the interest? Did it run in the family? Was it something like what was that spark for you when you were young that you wanted to pursue being a singer? And then we can
So
go from there.
for me, I like many other people in the performance field, like theater and stuff, is what jumped out at me first, and so I started to do that as a kid. And so growing up or whatever, and then the high school I went to was kind of a performance art high school, and so a lot of musicals, a lot of whatever, and then MTV hits, and so MTV happens, and then they're referred to as hair bands then, or now they weren't referred to that then, but hard rock and that just really took me away, and so
Wow.
got involved with bands at a young age or whatever, and then did that whole scene. Had a original band that got a bunch of uh, acclaim, and then Nirvana hit, and the bottom fell out, and my life changed. But no, I mean, I've been singing for a long time. Uh, uh, just before I put Slippery When Wet together, I was working for Perfect World, this company out of LA that does disco shows and 80s shows and metal shows. But the band Steel Panther, I don't know if you're familiar with them. They came out of that. And there's a bunch of
Oh
other names
no. Wow. Okay.
came out of that as well. And so, yeah, and so in that, just coming out of that, I put together Slippery Wet in 2003, and here we are. But no, the hard rock stuff, I was always a huge fan of all that stuff when I was a kid, and Bon Jovi in particular was when I was in high school was, but probably definitely my favorite band at that time. And
Wow.
so when it came time to uh, what had happened was a bunch of people were telling me, you look like, and the tribute thing had not, really blown up at all, but it started to be something in the back of my mind of, what, this could be something that was, whatever. And I knew all those songs like the back of my hand. And so, yeah. But yeah, I mean, 2,300 shows around the world. I mean, it's been
Wow.
a,
Impressive, brother.
wild
2,300.
ride, wild ride. But yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Just that little bit just was like just inspiring, very inspiring to me. But that's the thing is it's like it's every chapter of your part of your life you look back now and you're just like, wow, thank you that I went through that. I experienced that and just the fact that I
Sure.
even had the desire for that.
Was it Freud with the 10,000 hours thing and whatever? That's really true. When you look at anybody that's doing anything at a high level and this and that, whether it be sports or acting or cooking or anything, you know what I mean? The proof is in the pudding of, doing the time and applying yourself, and,
Yeah.
having the drive to be able to try and do it as best as you can.
Right. No, I agree. And what interests you to, I guess, I mean, of course, a lot of people love Bon Jovi. I mean, he's such a legendary musician in his songs. But what interests you when you were young that you were like, oh, I want to listen to this guy. I want to like sing a lot of his songs. Because there's so many bands out there. There's so many choices. So what was it about him that intrigued you?
Like I said, that MTV thing hit me big. Like it was,
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, but man, back then, yeah, I'd race to get home to, turn on and see, what was the countdown and the
Yeah.
whatever. I bought those the hard rock magazines, and when the CDs came out or tapes, or I got those, and so yeah, Bon Jovi though, they just kind of always, I shouldn't say always, when the Slippery record came out, I think it showed that they were just a little bit different than some of the other stuff that was out there. Not quite like Motley Crue, they're not quite
Okay.
like Judas Priest, they're not like Kiss, and
Yeah.
so I just that album really stuck with me. And then my favorite record from them is New Jersey, and that was the following record. And man, I was swept up. I saw him on the Slippery and Wet tour, saw him twice on the New Jersey
Wow.
tour. That band was just firing on all cylinders at that point. And yeah, I mean, they could do no wrong. So yeah, I mean, to me, they were, and it's why I've said it before. There's a lot of people that still put them in as a hair band, and it's hair band this and this and that. But I mean, they've had hits.
Yeah.
In the '90s, they've had hits in the 2000s. And so they've been able to, he has been able to further the brand and whatnot since then. And so I just think they're a special band. And man, for a time there, that live show was unbeatable, man.
Wow.
And so yeah, I mean, I just think they're kind of the gold standard for hard rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. And so when it started for Slippery When Wet back in 2003, like what was the story behind that? How did you find the musicians? I mean, where did the idea come from? I mean, of course, I mean, there's always a start to that. So if you want to
The
share a bit.
Jovi thing was just brewing at that point. There really weren't a bunch. I mean, there's some that have been around forever, like Zoso, and gosh, there's a Doors band that was back, God, probably 40 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it had just been brewing in the fact that I thought that we could take advantage of it. Of I was so meticulous with how we did the show, and how so we worked up the live arrangements from like how they play and whatever. And so yeah, it took me kind of getting some guys close to me that were playing in the disco and 80s thing of like, hey, let's try this or whatever. And first we'd had 45 minutes worked up, and then it was an hour, and then we did the full blown 2 hour show. And so
Wow.
it was those first 50, 60 shows, it took a while to kind of get your legs and really find your way around it and find what people would respond to.
Right.
And
Right.
I've said it over and over. It's those catalog of songs and anything. I'd like to think that we do that well and whatnot, but without that catalog of music, you don't have that.
Yeah. And of course, it's very important that the ones that were working with you or being a part of your team were someone you both all can relate to and connect with and even consider friends. I mean, that's the thing. I've spoken to other tribute bands, and yeah, one thing that's important is everyone's on the same mindset on doing this, you know? Because yeah, that's how everyone's gonna feel the show is you're all in sync in the same performance. Like everyone's all, you know what I mean? So
And
that's
over time, we've had different people come through that door, and life changes and
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, no, I've been lucky enough to be able to get people to drink the Kool Aid, as you will, and have them believe in the greater thing that we're trying to accomplish here. And so yeah,
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I mean, there a time that you played in Las Vegas, is that correct?
I did 10 weeks in Vegas at the
Yeah,
Flamingo with the Legends and Concert Show.
that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I
that was
read
about
about
two
that.
weeks too long, but in
2 weeks
Vegas.
too long? Are you?
Uh, it was
Well,
like either I'm never coming home or I'm gonna come home at about yeah. But yeah, no, that was a great time, and I
oh, I
love
bet. Yeah.
the Legends people, and I've been fortunate enough to be chosen by them, and to do a bunch of different shows with them around the country and that. But no, that was I Vegas. Holds a place in my heart, and I lucky enough to be able to visit there a bunch of different times or whatever. But it was really different to be the Legends in concert at that time was the longest running show in the Strip.
I heard, yes, I'm aware of that, and I
Yeah, we
never
have
got to see it, but yeah.
one of the OG casinos and that, Bugsy Siegel and that. And so, no, it was a really cool experience. Man.
Oh, I bet, man. Yeah, and the fact that when they asked you to be a part of that show here in Las Vegas, I mean, that's like what? Like, heck yeah. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna think twice about it.
right. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool.
Dude. Yeah. And so after Legends of Rock, right?
Legends in concert.
Sorry, Legends in Concert. What happened after that for you? You went back to the band or
So actually, so we were doing, God, how many shows a week were we doing? 8, I believe, with one day off. And so
8 shows?
I would have
Really?
to take, so I still kept with the band and flew back to the East Coast to do
Oh, dang.
in between that. So for the truth, in that 10-week run, I might have had like 4 or 5 days off because I was using them to, fly back east to be able to do shows with the band. And so yeah, it was a strenuous schedule. I'm not a huge
Ah,
fan
dude.
of being every day and doing all of that, but it was cool, and the friendships that I've made through that, it took me back to high school of, doing a big production with 30, 40 people involved with everybody having one common goal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right,
So
right.
no, I love to do that. But to me, that's a paint, that's a color of paint that I like to paint with, but it's not my primary. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's nice
Yeah.
to fit in that. But yeah. What we do with the band is a lot different than that. But it's really cool to be around talented people and a fun
Oh
show.
yeah. Of course, bro.
Yeah,
Especially with everyone coming with their unique voice and talent, and you're standing by them, and I mean, like, they can't get
sure.
better than that. They're playing others.
And
Uh,
like that
yeah,
show, the cast in that, it was like Elvis,
yeah, Elvis.
Mike Jackson, Tina
Yeah.
Turner, and who am I missing? Obama.
God, what a
Yeah,
show.
yeah, it was really cool. Yeah.
But I can't imagine with you going back and forth like that. Like that's what I was saying. Your voice.
It,
How did
yeah,
you have time to get that where it's not strained? Like,
well,
oh
in
God.
the desert and that or whatever, it's a
Yeah.
different animal. So yeah, yeah, and my son was 9 then, 10. So I was having to fly him out every other weekend. It was wild.
Wow,
Yeah, it was
dude.
wild of trying to keep up with all of it, but it was
Wow.
fun. It was a lot of fun. It kept you on your toes.
Wow. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you were able to make it work, and that experience of that chapter will always be a memorable one.
Yeah.
So, what's next for the group, man? For Slippery When Wet, what's going on this year?
So we actually have big changes with this year. So we were based out of Atlanta, and when I first started this, I was living in Orlando, but it wasn't making sense for me to travel from Orlando to get to all the various shows that we did. And at that time, places like Charlotte and Birmingham and Knoxville and whatnot were really booming with clubs and whatnot. And a lot of that has changed then, and so it hadn't really made sense for us to be in Atlanta for the last 6, 7 years just because the
Wow.
music scene just kind of really changed.
Wow.
And so, in my eyes, to do professionally and have professional musicians like we have had, there's really two cities. It's still Vegas. Vegas is one of them, but Nashville's the other. And so,
Hey, good one.
making a move to Nashville this year to set all that up and have that be the home base because that's where the rehearsal studios are. That's where the professional musicians are. It's just everybody's geared on a mindset of just doing a professional show, and so we're in
Right.
the midst of flipping that over now, and so it's been interesting, but no, it's all for the better. Trying to step into the third act of this band, and like I said, when you've done 2,300 shows and this and that, you got to find something to find it to be fresh and
Right.
whatever. So I don't think this band has hit its ceiling yet, and the Bon Jovi is still in people's Spotify's and CD players and Pandora and what.
Vinyl and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, we still got a ways to go here to take the show, and so
Wow. Okay. So, from my understanding, you're moving to Nashville? Is that
yeah,
what's
I'm moving to Nashville and then having the band based out of Nashville as well. So yeah,
Wow. So the rest of the guys are going with you, of course, then.
We're actually kind of doing a little bit of an overhaul here.
Oh, okay.
We kind of my guitar player Aiden, who was my right hand for 7 years.
Wow.
Life kind of had some changes for him and whatever.
Okay.
He wasn't able to kind of handle the schedule that
Mm.
we handle, and so did some searching through or whatever, and I found some guys here, and yeah, I needed to just have some top tier guys to be able to carry the show and have it be done the way it needed to be done.
All
So
right.
Nashville is where it's at.
Nashville. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm happy for you, and hopefully you can come out here to Vegas. I would love to see the
It's
band
been a
play.
minute. We haven't played Vegas in probably 7 years, something like
Seven
that.
years, really? Wow.
Last time we played was at the Hard Rock Cafe, not the casino there, but the cafe that's
The
on.
cafe there on the strip. Okay. That's an actually cool venue. I actually like that one a lot. I've
Yeah,
seen a few shows. So, with all this, I mean, that's the thing about Rhythm and Roads though, is everything is seems always like, wow, the top of everything going flowing great, but then there's also those chapters of the road that it's not so great. And there's times where you feel like, you know what, maybe I should question why am I doing this? Maybe it's tough on the family, situations where you're not getting as much gigs, impressive of 2,300 shows worldwide. But then there's times too where it's not always that great. There's times where it's
sure.
the rough roads. And
No,
so,
it's a
yeah,
what did Keith Richards say? A year on the road will take, like, 5 years off your life or whatever. And there's
man.
a lot of
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? I the travel, even just this summer or whatever, it was a lot.
I
Trying to get
bet.
whatever. And so, it's the matter of, traveling to get to where you're going, and then you playing those shows, and then you get back, and then you've got to recharge. And then it just seems like you're packing your bag again to go out and do it again. And so there are
Yeah.
those moments of that, the grind of whatever. And hence why I'm even saying, like, the Nashville thing and that. It's just, not everybody is cut out for, that type of life and that.
Yeah.
To me, I got that performance bug in me at a young age, and so it's not a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's where I'm at. It's who I am.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, no, I mean, there's days there, like that. Back to Wanted Dead or Alive. When you watch that music video, there, it's them on the road or whatever, and you see those moments of them on the
Oh,
bus
yeah.
where they're in that. That's it. I mean, that is
Very
that
true.
grind. You know what I mean? Having to
Yeah.
catch a 6 a.m. flight somewhere to whatever, and then it gets delayed, and then now you're skating in, just before sound check, and yeah, I mean, there's all those moments in there. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. And you're definitely living on a prayer too, because sometimes we all I definitely need that every day, man. There's times where you're just like, oh God, I need to get through, one
Sure.
day at a time, one day at a time.
Sure. Yeah. But
Um,
luckily, we've been fortunate enough, and then building this over the years, our fans are some of the best. And,
that's awesome. Wow.
generally, whatever you've done to travel to get to wherever, to do whatever, as soon as you hit that stage and, people are into
Yeah.
it, for the next 100 minutes or whatever, it's, out of your brain, and,
Yeah.
almost a cathartic process, so
Yeah, it's a great reminder of just why you love doing this, to see everyone's reaction
yeah.
and just it's just great. Yeah, I was part of a punk rock band 2 years ago, and it was really my first band being a part of it. But yeah, that feeling of just coming to hear their music was like, oh, this is amazing. It's
Yeah.
great. And the thing is, it's not about us, right? It's about just being a great entertainer, show performer, and giving our best for them because
It's not only that, and I've said
yeah.
it late at our shows, it's a crazy world out there now. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that somebody would take time out of their Friday and pay, $30 to come and, whatever, I mean, it means a lot, and it's not
Oh
lost on,
yeah.
you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And yeah, even just getting people off the couch and away from Netflix or whatever to have them do something. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
choice itself. And so, no, I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for being the inspiration of that light that we need to be like, hey, they're in town. Let's go. I'm the one to watch this series. Let's take a break.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, and, with AI becoming so much more, we'll be down to there's only one thing that can not be replaced. Is that live interaction with a
Very
human being. You know what I mean?
exactly. I agree.
So yeah, hopefully people will continue to feel that way.
Yeah, man. Well, I do want to get into your own personal journey of just your own music. Do you have any projects in the works of the future or the past that you've done of your own music, even if it's a few songs, a single or two?
Yeah, so Slippery's always filled me up performance wise and whatnot, but I'm a creative person and I need to have that other outlet. So yeah, I had a band that was called The Lovesick. We put out six EPs, six over like a 10-year period, and it was a lot of
Wow.
fun recording stuff and music videos. Not a lot of live shows,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I love to be in the studio, and yeah, I'm working on a new project now. I'm hoping to have it out by the summer here, but
Oh, really? Okay.
rock, thing or whatever, but a full album. I think we've got six songs done so far, and maybe
Wow. Awesome. Okay.
three last year or whatever. But yeah, I'm finishing that up in Atlanta, and yeah, I'm excited for people to hear it because it's a little different from some of the stuff that I've done
That
before.
you've done. And what do you see this going? Is it more like your own little tour or something like that when it's done, or what do you
So
see
for me,
happening?
I'd love to play that stuff and do whatever. But I mean, for me to get on like some six band bill to make $50 or whatever, I can't clear out a Friday to do that, with what Slippery's schedule is.
Oh, I
So
see.
most likely this will be just a recording thing with some music videos and whatever. But
Okay.
maybe.
All right. And what's one qu last question on this project? What's the title of the album coming out? Is it an album or EP?
It's gonna be a full album, yeah.
Okay.
But so my old band was the Lovesick, and I happened to I heard these kids with this slang these days or whatever. There was one thing that they keep saying or whatever that I would just stuck with me, and it's the ick, and so that's the new
Ick?
band called the ick. Yeah,
Really? Okay. That's that's interesting. Wow. Okay. The ick.
yeah.
All right, man.
Got a
Well,
little bit of funky rock thing, so it's a little kind of tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? But yeah.
that's cool. Wow. All right. Well, one thing as musicians, I always like to ask, besides Bon Jovi, of course, for you, what other musicians out there have inspired you as a musician? Like for me, um, David Bowie is one of them. Brian Ferry, of course, metal would be. Well, for right now, it's definitely Striper on my end because I actually interviewed Michael Sweet a week
Nah,
ago, and that was
no,
like, oh my God, Petra back then, but of course some other bands too. But do you have your own circle of ones that have inspired you besides Bon Jovi?
oh
That
yeah, I'm
yeah,
a big music fan. I still like him old school. I still buy CDs or whatever. To me, like
same. I'm the same way, dude.
I won't pay for air. Like if I can't see it, touch it, feel it, then it seems
Yeah,
like it's not real to me. And so,
yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, I look, to me, the Beatles were the greatest band that ever was, and so
Well, that's a good
they're
one.
a huge Prince fan.
Oh
Bowie,
wow.
uh,
Okay.
big Bowie fan too. But yeah, a lot of the Stones, the Who, Van Halen,
Yeah.
stuff. I tend to because of the Beatles stuff, a lot of stuff that's out of the UK. I tend to be a big fan of for some reason, but maybe because a lot of the people that come out of there have some of that Beatles type of influence. There's no way
True.
around.
Yeah.
But
Very
yeah,
true.
no, big music fan. But yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, lately it's been new wave for me. A lot of my listening. So like Human League, uh,
yeah,
Depeche Mode,
sure.
Erasure, so some of that style. But every bit you can learn from of a group of genre. You know what I mean? And even if
Yeah.
you're not hard rock on that or anything, but it's just interesting to learn. Yeah.
There's so much out there, but it's trying to sift through to find something that that's really my thing of now of sifting through and listening to things, and then man, if you come across something that you hadn't heard or
Oh
whatever.
God.
Let's say they have like three or four records out. It's like uncovering all of that or whatever. It's really it's fun to find something that you haven't that's in your like wheelhouse that you haven't discovered before.
Right. Of course. I agree. Well, before we end on this episode, I want to ask, how can the viewers find you and stay updated with your music? Because I know you have your new album coming out in the summer, the new shows. We can stay updated during, when you're at Nashville this year. If you want to go ahead and share that.
So the website is slipperywhenwetband.com. And if
Okay.
you follow Slippery When Wet Band, it's that in Facebook, it's that in Insta, it's that in TikTok, all of that. It's Slippery When Wet Band. The ick, I will be doing a whole page and a whole whatever. I'm hoping to have the single out here in the next 60 days or so, but
Oh, are you? Okay, cool.
there was just no rush. Times before I pushed myself to deadlines and whatever, but there's a lot going on, so I need to, kind of handle this other stuff before I, get to that. But yeah,
All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing those links, and I look forward to your new project. That's exciting. I mean, here I never thought that was in the works, but
yeah,
a lot new for you this year, and I'm glad that you are taking those chances, taking risks, because that's what it's about.
yeah.
Even moving to Nashville. So
It's just you always got to constantly move it. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's got to go forward. It's got to go whatever. And so one of the things that I learned in putting this together, it was much easier for us to get to somewhat of the top. You know what I mean? Than it is to maintain.
maintain it. Yeah,
Being there. And but it's you have to keep this interesting. You have to keep pushing towards
yeah. You
whatever.
have to, man. Don't. I'm a strong believer in that too, and I believe it's always until the last day we're here on Earth. You got to keep striving every day and
That's
learn
the
every day.
question that people
Yeah.
give me. Like, how much longer do you think you'll do this, and how much whatever? And the truth is, I don't think Slippery and Wet will ever like do a final show because
Oh,
there's too much interest and too much whatever. And as I get older and this and that and whatever and that, I just see the shows getting less and less. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I might be at the the old folks tour and whatever and that coming out in my walker and boombox or something. Um,
you're a walker.
look, as long as somebody's willing to buy a ticket, I'll get up there and
That's right, man. That's right. Keep going to the end. That's right. Yeah, it's impressive too. There's a lot of still artists out there that are still performing. Engelbert Humperdinck, he's like 81, 83, and still singing. Of course, there's other, people up there,
there's some
but
that are killing it, but there's some that are like, it's time to
uh,
it's time to step away. Time to step
yeah,
away.
like, all right, man, that's it. You should go. Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
funny. No, that I really hope you do at the, all the way to the last. I mean, even like you said, even if you're in your walker, whatever it is, because that's what you love doing. So yeah, why stop? Yeah. So, well, guys, if you'd like to share your story on Rhythm and Roads Las Vegas, my Instagram is Joshua Jacob Official. I believe every story matters. Every story can impact someone's life. And just like Jason here, sharing that, keep going, keep doing what you love. We only have one life, and why waste it on doing something that you're not have purpose for, no passion for? Find that, and I believe a strong belief that God always provides that in someone in you that you're here on earth to live out for. So, well, Jason, it's been such a blessing to have you on the show to share your journey, and I
Yeah.
wish you the best on your new album coming out. And hopefully, when you're out here in Vegas, I'll get to meet you in person.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thanks thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys, this is Joshua Jacob, Rhythm and Roads, Las Vegas.